Yes, people, we are back with another Red Cartel. This week, it all seems to have happened in the football world, especially if you're a Liverpool as well. We've got Tezza in the building, we've got Tom, and we've got Dan Potts. It has felt like the lowest of lows for Liverpool this season so far, Tom. And I'm not quite sure what you
The
make of
lowest of
this.
lows so far. The
So
lowest
far,
of
yeah,
lows so
yeah.
far.
Because I still
It
am
will
of
get
the
lower.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion it has to get worse before it gets better. But at the same
Oh,
time,
yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, after the fallout from this week, things are looking really good for Arsenal at the moment. Manchester United, one step forward, two steps, three steps back. It would seem, which has been a common theme for them for a number of seasons. Tonight, though, boys, I kind of want to discuss what is happening at board level within all of our clubs. What are the things that we're seeing and we're liking, and we're going to give credit to the board where the board need credit, and obviously that then feeds into what the managers have been able to do. And I want to really kind of scrutinise some of the summer activity or some of the long-term planning and the structures in terms of how we are run behind the scenes a little bit at all of our clubs, because we represent three massive football institutions, and I don't know how it can go from so good, and Flawless is in the building as well. Big up Flawless. I don't know how it can go from so good in one sense for some teams and then flip completely to the opposite end of the spectrum. Arsenal seem to have done it in a way where it's happened progressively, and Man United just keep stuck in that same cycle. So tonight we're going to discuss it, and obviously Flawless is our final panelist, and we'll just dive straight into it. Potts, I'll start with you because things are all good down at the Emirates at the moment. He's had a big result midweek against Bayern Munich, a team that has, in the Champions League anyway, over the years, been able to get, the best results possible and embarrass Arsenal at times. It's probably fair to say there's been a lot of fallout from some of their big games in the latter part of the Champions League. You've got Chelsea this weekend, which could be another big step towards chasing down the Premier League title this season. You probably give a bit of credit to the manager at this point, but do you look above and think what the work the board have done have really enabled them this season?
So if the questions is what do you think of what Mikel Arteta has done in terms of on the pitch, of course, I'm going to say that I'm really happy with him. This season, I think he's actually for the first time proven a lot of kind of points wrong from myself about how you learn from this, have you learned from that. But one thing I will say that I think we deserve to give credit for is the appointment of Andrea Berta and what he did in the summer. The board have been fantastic for the first time in a long, long time. The ownership have actually proven that they care about that kind of side of things now. And when I look at what Andrea Berta has done, walking into a football club, bringing in 8 players with the squad that we've got now, you have to say big up to him. He's been outstanding. Let's be real. I don't know if you would agree with this, and it's maybe the wrong time to bring it up as Liverpool fans. But if you had your 6 attackers out, I think you'd probably be in a relegation zone by now. And that's what Arsenal have had. So we haven't noticed that because our squad's been so good, right? Now, that's not me going, haha, we're better than you. That's just being factual.
I mean, I haven't noticed my attackers because we don't give them the ball. We're not the same thing, are we?
This is true, though, Tom. This is true, bro. But I, and Man City are in that bracket as well. If they lost Haaland and Marmoush and on top of that Foden, on top of that, Doku, I think they'd really struggle. So I think it proves what we've done in the summer was absolutely the right thing to do. And the appointment of Berta was great. It's who I wanted. I didn't want some of the other names. But when I look at what Arsenal have done at board level this summer, it is absolute chalk and cheese for what we've done previously. Now, I've also got the question of what the hell was Edu doing? Because when you look at the Brazilian league and you can spot Marquinhos, but you can't spot Esteval, there's some problems with you, right? So when I look at what he's done and bringing in players like
I think that's
Tavares
a very good point, to be fair. I think that is a very good point.
yeah, Fabi Vieira, all these guys we had under Edu that weren't able. Look, everyone misses. I get it. Andre Berta will probably sign players that miss. But when I look at it, how can you get so many wrong? And I think what Berta's done is he's gone and picked up players that have come into this squad and have done their job already. So, for example, Mosquera's 21 years old. We've picked him up for £14 million. He'd probably walk into the majority of teams in the Premier League, to be fair, as the first team. He's been exceptional when he's come in for Saliba. Now, if Saliba goes down previously, we're bringing in Rob Holding. Yeah. And people are wondering why we're not winning the league. Then you get Gabriel goes down. Everyone says, oh, that's it. Arsenal can't beat Bayern Munich and Spurs now. They got no Gabriel. And Nketiah comes in for one game and Mosquera comes in against Bayern and we win 4-1 and 3-1. So I don't know how you can score 7 goals in Marino up front, but we're doing it. Right. So I think the board have got to take a massive W for this summer, because what we've done with this squad, there's seriously zero excuses to this team not to win trophies now under Mikel Arteta. And I think that when we get to the end of May and that's happening, we'll say big up to him, and rightly so, he deserves the praise. But I think we'll look back to that summer and go, the big reason is they actually did all get on the same page for once. And it looks now like Arsenal have got a squad that can go on and compete on all 4 fronts. But we have to win. There's no point being top of everything by November. You got to do it by May, bruv. So
yeah. Well, no, do you know what? On that point of being equipped for 4 fronts, I remember not necessarily the same sort of time. It was probably February times or late January when we was having a conversation on the 12th man, the race for Europe. And you were saying, the business Liverpool could do in the January window, and the lead that you've got in this league at the minute, and the league being pretty weak, you should go on to win it, was the predictions from most people. Can you go for other competitions as well? Should the board have strengthened in January to help you maybe go and do PSG over, get yourself into a Champions League final, or go and win an FA Cup? I'm going to ask the other lads, should Arsenal's board now be looking at not just the Premier League this season, but the possibility of the Champions League and maybe even a Carabao Cup, if not the FA Cup?
Yeah, they should be, but they shouldn't panic
What
over that.
sense?
I don't know what business Arsenal need to do in January, if they need to do anything. I think it's a case with Arsenal of that squad is so well settled in and so well balanced at the minute that what you don't want to do is think you need something and then jump at the first opportunity rather than bide your time and wait and trust what you've got. So I keep hearing Arsenal fans going about left wing. I think Martinelli and Trossard have stepped up at points this season, but I understand that left wing probably isn't, in terms of quality compared to some of the other positions, the highest. But in the same breath, the left wings are doing a job for you. They're performing in big moments for you. You don't need to, in January, jump at, for lack of a better term, a B-tier left winger for 65 million quid. Grab him and then go, that's it solved. Arsenal would probably benefit from being patient and going, the only thing that improves us now is an upper echelon player. That might not be in January, but I don't need it in January per se. Because
but if you want to win, the aim, again, I go back to winning multiple things this season. They could probably win the Premier League. The way the league's shaping up, and nobody really putting themselves in the race with Arsenal at this moment. If they win the league by a canter, they could have the squad and the resource to go for another trophy. That was maybe a missed opportunity for us last season. We could this low that we're on right now could be even softened even more if we had the Champions League under the other arm. Do you know what I mean? My Premier League's slipping away already, bro. Like we missed an opportunity now, potentially. Would Arsenal, I don't know, Tezza, what do you think? Do Arsenal need to strengthen again? Do they need to show a little bit of ambition?
In terms of strengthening, probably not. Just because they've had quite a few players injured. And I think there's going to be a period where Trossard probably drops a bit of form. Martinelli's been looking better coming off the bench late, especially in Champions League games when there's some space and against tired legs. And I think Havertz hasn't played this season. Gyökeres has missed, the last 2 or 3? And then Jesus hasn't played as well. So in terms of where you think Arsenal would strengthen, it would probably be in the attacking line. But I think, as what Tom said before, if you go and sign someone, then there might not even be enough football for that new player to play, or that new player then takes minutes away from everyone else. Because I think what's kind of working well at the moment is it's Trossard in the league when you play against someone who's a deeper block, Martinelli in the Champions League when there's a bit more time and space, and then Saka will play all the time, and then whoever's going to be up front, there'll be a period where Arsenal might have Gyökeres, Havertz and Jesus to all call upon. And Madueke came back and then he scored. So I think there's probably they've probably got too many players when everyone comes back, rather than them needing to sign. I think the only way they'd sign someone is if it was a no-brainer kind of option to try and grab someone who's going to be there longer term, and then they know, right, this player who's coming in is we're going to probably allow them to bed in a little bit slower, and they'll still add to the squad, but they won't be needed to be like hitting the ground running straight away. So I think Arsenal should probably prioritise on stop getting injuries. They are probably lucky that they've got a deeper squad and a better squad quality depth. But I think if they can have a spell where they don't have any injuries to the normal first 11, because realistically, I don't think Arteta's played what he would probably think is his best first 11 for a spell of 3 to 5 to 6 games. And that might even look completely different, because that might be Eze on the left and that left wing is sorted, and then Odegaard comes in and it's Rice and Zubi in the midfield, and then you're looking on your bench and you think you have Madueke, Havertz, Jesus, and Martinelli and Trossard. So
do you know what it is though, Tez? Just quickly, like I don't think there's many teams now that can play their first 11. I just think the injuries in football is too much. Like I saw Liverpool and City going out with Pep and Klopp, and it was brilliant to watch because the majority of the time their players fit, and it was so good to watch. It was entertaining. I mean, it was annoying because Arsenal were nowhere near you, right? But watching it as a football fan, it was exceptional to see Salah, Kevin De Bruyne, Sergio Aguero at the time. You know, obviously Mane, Firmino, all these guys. With Arsenal, I've been crying out and this goes for the sides that we face as well. Let's just see who the better team is. But we never can, because Kevin De Bruyne is out and Thomas Partey's out when we play each other. And then Rodri's out and then Saka's out for us. And then to this season, I'm like, come on, let's just play Liverpool. Brilliant. Third, fourth game of the season. We'll have everyone fit. No Saka, no Odegaard, no Saliba. I'm like, oh, come on, man, really? I just want to play. Let's see who the best team is. Do you know what I'm saying? So when people are saying, oh, Palmer's back, Havertz might be back, Gyökeres is back for the weekend, I'm like, good, let's get them all playing so we can actually see who the better team is. And we never get that. And Liverpool will be the same this season. Man United will be the same this season. And so will Arsenal. And I just think that's why I'm so happy that the board have gone, forget a first 11. It's never going to happen. We've tried that for 4 years. It's never worked. Let's go and get a squad of 25. And that's what we've done now. And this is why I've always been saying, and I don't say it this summer because of this summer. When we last won the league, right, was a long time ago. But when we won the league, I never went, oh, bloody hell, Kanu and Wiltord are right getting in the way here. Henry and Bergkamp here. How the hell do we get? Oh my God, we've got Reyes on the bench here. He's going to get the ump because Perez is playing. I never did that, boys. Right? I sat there and I went, look at this squad depth, and that's for the first time now what I'm doing. And I could tell you this now: I weren't doing it when I had Raheem Sterling on the bench, bruv. Yeah, and when I had Lokonga and Tavares and Fabi Vieira and bless him, Eddie Nketiah, Smith Rowe, Reece Nelson, all these guys that we had that did great for us, but were probably good enough to get us into the top 4. And no more.
That feels like our bench at the minute. The way that you name some of those players, then.
I'll tell you what, when we played you at Anfield, I looked at your bench and I went, "Oh dear." Seriously, I looked at your bench.
You say that about our bench. We've got some decent players on the bench. The manager just doesn't use them because they're not named Cody Gakpo, Ibrahima Konate, or Alexis McAllister. I don't know what more certain players have to do to get a start.
Yeah, I know. I'm baffled by it myself.
But basically, Potts, what's happened? You know how you've treated Arteta for like how many years now, where you get so frustrated with them? I hit that point. I've hit that point with Arnie Slot now. I
don't think you're alone.
I had to watch the Nottingham Forest game in the Kop with my own eyes. I went, I can't do this.
Oh, you was there?
I was there. I was there. I wish I went. I was there.
Did you leave early?
No. I sat all the way through that.
Hey, so you're a soldier for that.
Must admit though, Tom, at least you weren't. It wasn't sat there the other night, was you? Against PSV. Because that was. I mean, I watched it because obviously I was at the Bayern game, and my boy said to me, Liverpool losing again. I said, shock. Who they playing? I said PSV. I said, not the PSV we beat 7-1. He's like, yes. I was like, wow, this is mad, and it's at Anfield, and it's 4-1. He's gonna get sacked, but that's another show.
No, we're going to get on to what Liverpool's board needs to do in this show.
That's a board job. That's a board job.
Exactly. So we are going to touch on that. Don't you worry. We're not going to avoid the elephant in the room. But before we do, I will come to Flawless and I'll ask the question: what's been the most impressive piece of business that Arsenal's board have done this summer then for you, for where they currently are in terms of obviously top of the league?
you've mentioned it in regards to just improving the squad. Because we all seen that they had an 11. And even though I think Arteta should have done better with the squad overall, they've removed any of those excuses. Because it was, we need a striker. We need this, we need that. So you signed Gyökeres. You've added in Madueke. You've also added in Eze. You've added in Hincapié. There's someone else that I'm missing as well. Mascara, that's the one I was thinking of. You've literally eliminated all of the excuses now. Because you look at the squad and you go, that 11, wherever you think the best 11 is, and that squad is good enough to win the Premier League. Even though previous sides he's had has been good enough to win the Premier League. Hence why you don't sit at the top of the Premier League for 94% or however much it was if the team's not good enough. You're not 8 points clear late on in the season if the team's not good enough. You don't get into these situations on accident, but people, for whatever reason, wanted to make excuses for Arteta. But now he has a better team, and that's why I said overall point, eliminating the excuses, signing Eze, signing Gyökeres. They're the two main ones that I look at as well. You can throw Zubimendi in there as well. And in regards to what they need in January, I don't think they need anything, but if you can improve, you do that. If you can go and get a left winger who is better than the two they have, even though Trossard and Martinelli are in form, because you know what Trossard and Martinelli are overall. So if you can go get someone that's better than them, that can only be a help to me. If you go get someone who performs better, maybe you look at them in midfield with Rice and Zubimendi, not necessarily replacements, but if one of them gets injured or you want to rest one of them, you maybe want a couple players in those areas. But that's every team though. I don't think there's any team in Europe, whoever you think the best team is in Europe, there's areas to improve on. Cause I don't think the perfect team exists. But that's why the managers get paid so much That's why the managers get paid massive amounts of money, is to deal with these things and get the best out of what you have.
The perfect team does exist. It's Nottingham Forest. It's PSV. Who else have we lost to in these 9 games? Because they're all perfect teams. Because that's how we only lose.
Is it Manchester United? Yeah, you went Manchester United.
Yeah, perfect, 100%.
Yeah, perfect 100%. Team. Yeah, Manchester United, perfect team. Yeah, so like that's where it stems from. So you can only give Arsenal credit, and they're currently in pole position now. Can they continue this on? Because they've answered it's early on in the season, but all of the questions they've answered so far. Chelsea's another one. If they go beat Chelsea at the Bridge on the weekend, that's another one where I go, oh, geez. But then if they lose that on the flip side, everyone's going to go, all right, what's going to happen? Because then Chelsea are closer. City are most likely going to be closer.
I don't think, in terms of the result, I don't think that the result at this point, after the win at Bayern, and obviously the good result against Spurs the other day, if there was a draw against Chelsea or if they lost 1-0 or 2, I don't think there'd be the inquest. I think inquest would probably be a bit strong, do you know what I mean? I don't think
Errol, if they lose 2-1, you are going to be tuned in all weekend on that Sunday to all
I've had nothing all season.
But you know what the inquest is going to be. Because think about it, here's what it will be. Let's say they lose to Chelsea on the weekend. Then Chelsea are 3 points off them. City are 4 points off them. And people go, Arsenal have been great this season. They've been on fire. They've been the most consistent team. Chelsea haven't been at it. Have lost to Sunderland. Have lost to Manchester United. Have lost to Brentford, for example. City haven't been at it. And they're 3-4 points off them. I already know what the conversation's going to be. We know that there isn't really like balance in this space.
So it's like that year when you had Ten Hag and you beat Man City at home and everyone, oh my God. United are on a title charge now.
It's going to be reactionary on the house. The world's burning if they lose to Chelsea, even though they're still in a good position. Because it's always what could have been, because they should go in there and win. Because I don't know about Potts, but Arsenal fans I've spoken to seem pretty confident going into this game that they're going to go get a victory. Extremely confident. I'm hearing 2-0 wins, 3-0 wins, 3-1 wins, etc. Chelsea ain't that good, so yeah, it's going to be.
How am I envious of Arsenal fans? What is? That's mad. But you know what? Fair play to them. And that's why I say I wanted to look specifically at the board in the episode to actually kind of give a little bit of credit, because it's not always just all the manager and it's not always all the players. You've got to be able to build and assemble a team.
Yeah, the board have done their job. That's why I said they've left him no excuses.
But I remember we spoke earlier in the summer about the board's responsibilities and what they needed to do going into the season. And there was a lot of question marks, I think it's fair to say, Potts, because obviously Berta was the unknown. But what I think he's done really well for me and where I stand on it is he's not only went and got you the volume, but he's got you the quality, and the balance has been right. And I think that's been really important. He hasn't just went and wholesale, just went and got 6, 7, 8 players, but they don't suit what Arteta's already currently working on and got towards. And it's kind of segue towards where the conversation is about Liverpool. They look like the right profile for what Arteta's trying to do at the moment. So as you've already mentioned, if Saliba goes out, you've got Mosquera to come in. Hincapié can come in for Gabriel. You've got options to come in off the left if it's going to be Eze to come in if, Martinelli's not on form, or, what's his name? Trossard isn't doing it for any given reason. All of a sudden now you've got players there that actually fit what you're trying to do, and there's actual quality to them. They've been proven. And when you contrast that with Liverpool's business, I will ask the lads first before I come to Tom, because I can imagine I know what Tom probably thinking about this. Did Liverpool's board in Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards get on slot the right tools this summer?
Yes.
Lads, we've spent the money, but lads, let me know the
Yes,
tools.
he did.
I'm talking tools, though. The words I've used is very
Yes,
purposeful.
tools. Yes, he did. Because we know what the conversations were. We're not going to hindsight this and change this.
No,
We
what
was
you mean we're not
hearing
going to
best
hide?
window. We was hearing best windows ever, Errol. Don't do that. Not necessarily you, but those was conversations. That's why Tez is smiling, because I know he heard the same shit I heard. I know Potts did as well. We're not doing this. We was hearing best window ever. We are going to dominate. It's not a question of what trophies we're going to win. It's how many we're going to win. We've got our feet up. Yeah, we're walking the league. All of this
Who's
stuff.
saying that? No, let me.
This is Liverpool fans saying this.
Yeah, exactly. So it's Liverpool fans saying it based on players that we've never seen play for our club come in for astronomical fees, because that is what football is, and they've come with reputations, but they're not proven yet. The board have obviously had much more data to go off to understand what players are available in the market that play to the way that the manager is hoping to evolve his system.
Hey, Errol, let me ask you, who did you have winning the league at the start of the season?
I had Liverpool winning the league, bro.
Okay, so that tells you all you need to know then. Tom, who did you have winning the league at the start of the season?
Everyone did flawless.
We all did general consensus.
No.
Now we change. Now we changing it. There is the small minority. Tezza, you might be there, and there's others who might have looked at it. Credit to you. If you did that, credit to you. But general consensus in the footballing world was Liverpool are going to win the league. Now, because it's gone to absolute shit, now we're looking at the signings. Granted, the signings need to be doing better, but the players who are already there are not performing to a standard. What are we talking about? You added Isak, who was the second best striker in the league. Kirkes, one of the best left backs in the league last season. You added Vert, one of the best 10s in Europe. You added Frimpong, one of the best upcoming fullbacks, to a team with Alisson, Van Dijk, Kanate, Gravenberch, McAllister, Salah, and you added Ekitike as well, one of the most talented players, and alongside Szoboszlai. We're not doing this. We are not doing this and start talking about tools and all this stuff. Yo, you go Potts. I'm not hearing it. I'm sorry.
We ain't doing
this.
What Liverpool, and I'm not saying saying it's all Liverpool fans, right? Because I don't know if Tom and Errol have done this, but they've turned into Arsenal fans, man. They've turned into Arsenal fans of last year. They really have. Some of these Liverpool fans. They're arrogant. Oh my God, they're cheating now. Isak's coming. Etch the name in the trophy. It's happening. Oh my God, this is a 10 out of 10. It's unbelievable. And I'm agreeing with them. And then what happens is it goes to shit, and it's like, well, they're not really ready. We've got to give them time. No. You don't break the transfer record twice in a window and give them time. That's just not happening, right? That's not going to be happening. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, if Arsenal win it, they won't deserve it because we've all been crap. Just like Arsenal said of Liverpool last season. It is so spot on to what I've seen our fans doing last season. It is scary. And they're all hating it, and now they're looking in the mirror going, shit, I'm seeing Arsenal. Get away.
No, you're out on the roadside, ran down a girl that you've seen, ran her down, literally ran her down, and hollered at her and asked her for a number. And then because she said no, your butters anyway. Nah, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. That's what this is.
Before he does, right. What I will say is, if your clubs hadn't spent for not last summer, the summer before as well, and then went and spent mad bread, and we got the level of players we thought we was getting, you can't blame Liverpool fans for getting.
I don't blame you. I'm just saying the two. My overall
having a
point
bit of
is
chest, having a bit of talk. We hadn't.
I would have done the same thing, Errol. But my point was to the question before you go to
no. It's like having a fresh trim, bro. It's like having a fresh trim and running to the thing. And you get me, bro. And she still says no to man. Like, come on, what are we doing, bro?
Yeah. You feel like you just hopped out of the barbers and that happened. But to answer your question, it was about the tools. The tools. The players are good enough. I think
the barber's using the black spray, bro. The barber's, it's not a proper hairline. Come on.
I would say, to answer that question, I think the signings that the board have made for Liverpool were not for this season. Obviously, every signing isn't just for the year that you sign them. But I think what they were looking to do is transform the team quicker than the team needed to transform, in a sense. So it was very much so, we've won the league, we've been able to save all this money, but let's spend it now while, like, strike while the iron's hot. And these players, if we don't get them now, they're not going to sign, because if Liverpool don't sign Vert, he's going to go Bayern City. If they don't sign Isak might stay, but the next season he might go to a different team. So it was very much so, we need to get these players now. But I think where the board might have missed the trick is that the evolution of the team has then stalled, because they've let so many players go who've been there for 2-3 years, and they brought in 5-6 players, and the relationships are broken. Obviously, yeah, you think, we'll sign Vert, he'll just slot in, but realistically, Szoboszlai was the engine of that team. So to now find him in a different position week in, week out, and have Vert in the team as well, there was probably a misbalance. And then I think the biggest one for me is just, you signed Ekitike and Isak, and I don't know whether that plan is for now. That's why I'm saying I think that signings are for the next couple of years, because to sign 2 top strikers who realistically both want to play right now, if Ekitike was maybe
play through the middle, that's the problem.
Exactly, but I mean, if Ekitike was maybe,
we got 2 top quality strikers. How are we gonna cope?
Yeah, and you got Salah as well, and you got Vert, and it's like you need to play all of them. So I don't know.
Hey, these rich people. Sorry to cut you off, Tezza. These are rich people These are rich people problems, yo. Which color Ferrari I'm gonna take it out today? That's what this sounds like.
We ain't been rich before, bro. I'm trying to look at the board and I'm trying to say, but the way I'm looking at it as well is, and I think I do by and large agree with Tezza, because I've been one that said it for most of this season when people were given the criticisms of the new signings. It was, these aren't necessarily the signings to hit the ground running here and now. When you put them on 5- and 6-year contracts, you are trying to get the best out of them over a sustained period of time. Now, obviously, you want them to hit the ground running and start well, but sometimes there has to be a level of patience with certain players as they get bedded in. That can be the reality. We've seen it with the likes of Rodri in the past. We've seen it with some other good top players, Enzo, Fernandes, Caicedo, that are still players that we look at now and think, okay, yeah, first season they didn't really light it up, but they've come good eventually as an actual signing for the squad. I'm just curious not even curious at this point. I want to know what Tom thinks. Do you think the players that went out the door went too soon in some instances, or was we right to have as many outgoings?
I'm not going to be here because I agreed with pretty much every outgoing that happened. The only one I disagree with was Elliot. I think you could have kept Elliot round because he's a good versatile option. The rest of them I agree, but if a player doesn't want to be here, don't keep them. There's no point in keeping them. I think the board got all the correct, they got all the tools for the manager.
But there's talk at the minute, again, and this is speculation and rumours, but there is talk at the minute that Arsenal wanted to try and keep hold of Luis Diaz and give him an additional extension on his contract. Richard Hughes seen the money from Bayern as too good of a deal. So this is what I'm saying about the tools. It goes both ways. That's
a red flag right there, man. You know what I'm saying? If you got Verts coming through the door and Ekitike and Kirkes and your manager wants to keep Diaz, that is a red flag. What does Diaz do that's so special?
It was Diaz's first season of getting 10 goals. He was 29.
See, this is why I messed with you, Tom, man, because you just keep it. See, this is what I'm talking
about. I was the one who
won 65 million on the table. I'm not turning that down. I am not turning 65 million quid for a lad who can't even play in his first choice position anymore because he got ousted by Gakpo in that role. Like, I understand that hindsight makes you go, oh, we should have kept him. Hindsight makes you think you should keep Nunes because at least Nunes ran in behind. And at least he ran round a bit and got involved in the game. Our strikers now don't get involved in the game.
I was on the fence, but I would have kept Nunes, though. I'm not going to lie, because Nunes would get given a shift over on the left-hand side, worst case scenario. You know what I mean?
Would you have sacrificed their critique for that?
No, because we already had Ekitike in the door and Nunes in the door at the time.
All right, so what about Isak? Would you have sacrificed one of those two to keep Nunes?
No. Not in the long term. Not in the long term. So if the deal,
I'm just asking everyone. I'm just trying to gauge this because you're a real one, so that's why.
No. I see what
we doing? What
you are?
I'm asking a genuine question because we've lost. Obviously, the reason I said I'd have kept Nunes is because I didn't foresee us losing Jota in the way that we lost Diogo Jota. Obviously,
course,
rest
I
in
repeat
peace.
Jota every time.
But I knew that there was going to be, once the Jota situation happened, we had one less. So if it meant that there was a third choice striker, mine would have been, we keep Núñez as that. Diaz can go, and I was always happy for Diaz to go because I thought we'd get good money for Diaz. And I did, as every point that Tom's made is 100% spot on. I didn't think we seen the best out of him. So he was the one that I was wanting to go. It was we needed to lose 2 because what Potter's saying before about how now they've got a front 6 that can all come in and drop in and out, and the
we have
quality's still
6.
there. But the drop off between the 6 now, Chiesa can't give you. We play 3 games a week from now until probably February. Chiesa can't give you 3 games a week. You just can't do it.
I don't need him to give me 3 games a week. I'd like him to give me 1 game a week. I'd like him to get the opportunity to get 1 game a week out of him and not 30 minutes combined across 3 games.
No, but for what?
And then Rio, people are gonna go, oh, he's 17. I actually don't give a shit. Rio Engamoa has come in every single time Engamoa has come in. He's given me what I've wanted out my winger. It's not. I don't want the perfect winger. I want a winger who's bright, who beats his man, and who wants to create. That's what he gives me every time. Is he raw? 100%. Do we probably need a winger at some point in the future? 100%. That's probably why we're going to pay over the odds a bit for Semenyo. But at the minute, the problem that we've got all comes back to the man in charge being too set in his ways with certain things. Cody Gakpo does not warrant 6 starts in a row. The only reason the only way he's been dropped is when Berta goes out on the left, and that's because we got to try and fit 120 million quid man in. If Berta wasn't here, Gakpo starts every single game on the wing, and he doesn't warrant it. And the same goes for Salah. Salah needs to come out the team with points. We can't run the same 11. We're losing 3-0. We're losing 4-1. And I guarantee we got West Ham on the weekend. There will be a maximum of 2 changes to that starting 11.
Well, this is the other thing as well, and I think that's where you do then look at the manager a little bit. Is last season he was so reluctant, and I know he didn't have signings, but he was so reluctant last season to make any real changes. The squad, it was Luis Diaz.
Manager. He thinks he's bigger than certain player. What the fuck did Endo have to do to get a start? We don't win midfield battles. The one thing that man's good for is getting stuck in and winning the ball back and giving it to players who are better on the ball. We're crying out for that because I'm going back to the Forest game. I watched with my own eyes my entire midfield 3 shake 50-50s and 1-on-1s all game. At some point, you've got to get to doing the basic trait. And if we're talking about the board, I have no qualms with what the board done this summer in terms of the transfers. Every single transfer, I sat there and went, bang on. The only one I had a problem with was Ekatike and how much we paid for him. That was the only one I had a problem with. I didn't think we should have paid as much for Ekatike as we did. But that's by the by. The thing the board has to do now is realise that we have a major problem in the dugout. And it's not going to get fixed. It's not going to get fixed by anything I've seen.
But this is the
I
thing,
also
Tom.
think you got
We're in a
issues in your first 11, though, because I feel like when I watch the little bits I've seen of Liverpool, I think Salah looks like his legs are gone. And I know, he's got AFCON and the World Cup coming up. So he's probably thinking, if I gas myself up now, and I've got 2 massive opportunities for my country. And I don't think you've got anyone else to play on that side. I know you can say Fring Pong, but we're being serious. That's not a thing. And Chiesa as well. The manager doesn't really fancy Chiesa. And I actually think Slot likes to play Chiesa through the middle rather than wide. I don't think he thinks he can play wide in the Premier League. So in terms of your balance of your squad, I think you actually do have a few gaping holes. And that might lead to the fact why the manager doesn't want to make changes, because he's just looking at it thinking, I haven't got the tools. I mean, my personal thing, which I think all managers should do, is not be a coward and go to your academy. Is there someone in your academy?
This is what I'm saying. This is what Potts was saying before. When you look at the bench is weak. And it doesn't look like we've got players that are going to come through to be at the level right now. Our academy kids, Nalo's come on in a couple of games and he's been sent off 10 minutes later. Like, they just look so far away from.
Errol, look, stop, man. This is the crazy thing for me now, right? Because what we're doing, right, we're trying to look at everything that isn't Arnie Slot here. We're trying to go, did the board back him? Absolutely, they did. We're trying to look at, do we miss some of the old players? You shouldn't really, because look at your summer. You shouldn't really be missing Darwin Nunez when Isak's there. You shouldn't really be missing Diaz when Ekatike's there and Wirtz on top of that. You shouldn't really be missing. Do you see what my point is? And then we've got the stage of maybe the kids need to come and show up. No, maybe the player manager needs to get that team playing because the quality's there. You can't tell me these players are now just dead overnight. You can't tell me
Van Dijk
now can't do nothing.
To be fair, they've had Frimpong hasn't played. Wirtz is out for 6 weeks. Isak didn't have any preseason. Alisson's out.
Ekatike's injured now.
Ekatike is now injured, so that's why I brought up the thing of bringing in.
But Ekatike is only just injured now, though.
Do you know what it is, though, Tuz? It's a case of I'm sitting there and looking at it and going, I get you've got injuries now, and I get that we've been through this whole season. But you know what? If you made the change, if you tried something different, and you tried it with players that can't fit, and it works, but it doesn't work because the players that can't fit, like I can see what you're trying to do, but the players that can't fit aren't necessarily adapting to their role. And I'm looking at it going, well, if I get Isak in there, he fits that role perfectly where Chiesa can't do it. If I get, Frimpong in there, rather than playing Curtis Jones at right back, Frimpong in there, we'll be flying. But the fact is, he's played the same shit system for every game bar 3 games. One of them we got battered by Palace. One of them we battered Frankfurt. And the other one we were better against Madrid. The rest of the time he plays the exact same way. And I can tell you exactly what we do. We sit there, we get the ball back, it goes Van Dijk and Konate, go wider, and then they pass between each other. And then after about 10 seconds of passing between each other and getting nowhere, it'll go to the fullback and then it'll go to the winger. And the winger will stand there with either a shit overlap, which he's never going to use because the overlap isn't pointless. He's ran himself too close to the byline that he's can't put a cross in, or he doesn't even get an overlap. And the winger has to stand up his fullback, a midfielder, and a centre back because our strikers don't move. Beat all 3 of them just to get a shit shot off or a shit cross off. If they're not going to do that, which I don't blame them for, they then go back. It goes back to the fullback, back to the centre back, back to the centre back, to the other fullback, and then to the other winger. Can you do it? You can't do it? Okay, we'll go back and back and back and back and back. We just do a big U. We do a big U around the opposition who don't have to move. They don't have to jump out of shape. They don't have to adapt the setup. There's no movement elsewhere.
It's been the reluctance from him as well to try something. Like for me, like I don't particularly say this is going to be the answer, right? The answer isn't let's put our best mid player at right back. That definitely isn't the answer, right? One of the other answers isn't let's play Gravenberch as a centre back against Chelsea and wonder why it went wrong. That's not the answer either, right? So when I look at some of the decisions he's making, I'm thinking, yeah, you're a little bit out of your depth here. And people that said, yeah, well, he inherited Klopp's squad, I laughed and said, you're idiots. He won that league. Now I'm starting to think maybe he bloody did, because now he's trying to put one together. It looks an absolute shambles and a mess. And the other thing I'll say lastly on it is maybe you need to play Chiesa instead of Salah. Maybe Endo does need to come back and try and stabilise some sort of midfield balance. Maybe you might need to look at a couple of the kids to come in. The reason is Arne Slot's not getting it right with these lots, so he's going to have to stop and try with something else. Like I don't particularly think Conor Bradley's good enough for Liverpool. I've said that quite some time. I know he locked up Mbappe or Vini or whatever the hell it was one night, but let's be real, we can all do that on a night or on one night off, right? But you need to try something. You need to, and I don't think he is. It's like, well, I'm just going to carry on playing Gakpo.
He's injured as well. Bradley's
injured. We've got no right back at the minute in terms of the first team choices. I'll ask you.
Joe Gomez. Why don't you just play Joe Gomez?
Well, there's the other conversation. Well, he had injections. He had injections in his knee the other day, so he couldn't really play 90 minutes. So again, there are certain players that in his squad, in terms of our size, they're not fit for purpose because they don't feature. They're not there as part of
even then, though, Errol, there's been points this season when I've looked at it, and he has had these players fit to points.
2 right backs on the bench and that.
Yeah.
There's been games that's my point. McAllister's been a shadow of himself this season.
Yeah, Jones should have played.
And there's been a number of games where he's negatively impacted us. Curtis Jones has been one of our better players. Now, albeit it's not been a hard bar to get to be one of our better players, but he has been one of our better players. And yet, because he's not named Alexis McAllister and he didn't win a World Cup in 2022, he can't get starts in games that matter. Chiesa, in the moments he's got, he scored a late winner for us against Bournemouth. He saved our arse against Southampton in the Carabao Cup. He should have saved our arse against Crystal Palace, but we for some reason, tried to counter-attack in the 98th minute, 6 minutes at a time, and threw that away. And yet, beyond that point, he doesn't get started. He gets brought on with 15 minutes to go, with 7 other attackers on the pitch and told, do something.
Yeah.
And then we sit there and wonder about it. The way we play doesn't work. His solutions when we go behind, because we go behind every fucking game, doesn't work. And you sit there and you go, well, I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. I'm terrified for West Ham on the weekend. They've got a 6'4" bloke in Nicholas Fulcrum who is crap. I guarantee you, he'll win most of his aerial duels against Canati. He'll be arse over tit on the floor most of the time. Jared Bowen will get 2 off long balls. We'll lose 3-1. My manager will sit there in the post-match press conference and go, oh, it's all right, I'll sleep all tonight. Because that's the questions we ask him in the post-match press conference. Did you have a good night's sleep? Yeah, I did. Thank you very much. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Tommy's great.
Well,
It's diabolical, man. From the best transfer window to ever to, we missed Diaz and Nunes. Yeah,
No,
it's crazy. Not you saying that. I'm just saying that is crazy work in general. The fact that that's a conversation and the fact that that's a question is a problem.
But it is. It gets
Do you miss Diaz and Nunes?
On Liverpool football timelines.
It does.
Are we missing them?
It does.
Now, this, that, the other?
Are we missing them? Like the revisionism, you lot were jumping for joy about those two leaving with the money you was getting for those two. Look at the business we're doing and and this and that. It's extra. But yo, let me ask. I want to ask both Errol and Tom. What did you both make of? Yeah, go on.
Before you do that quick, because I know Potter's got to shoot in a minute.
Oh yeah, man. Cool.
I, from a ball perspective, the big call does it need to be made? Is it time on Onslaught's managerial career at Liverpool Football Club? And then give a big plug to the channel as well and let people know where they can get your content for that.
Big up to you, bro. Listen, it's always a pleasure coming on here, and I'm sorry I can't come on here all the time, man. But I try to do as many as I can, bro. And football's 12th, man. Big up to everybody that's here, and I appreciate that. Football's 12th, man. Road to 60k. You'll see Errol on there Monday nights with me as well on Race for Europe. So come and show some love. Yes, you do need to pull the plug, bruv. You do. You're Liverpool, man. You're not, Wickham. And I don't think this is a give it time. Look what happened with Arteta. This is a completely different set of circumstances, man. You've got a lot of good players that need to get put together. And Arne Slot has proven time and time again for the last few weeks that he's not the guy. You can't lose 9 in 12 or whatever the hell it is. That's just ridiculous. So for me, it's proven that he's lost everything. He's lost the dressing room. He doesn't know how to get this team working. I don't know who the answer is. I don't know if you go release the clause of Iriola. I don't know if you get an interim like a Gerrard and wait till Glasner this following season. It's not my decision, but the board needs to make the right decision. And you're Liverpool. Let's be real. People say, well, who's there? Who's out there? I used to get this. Who are you going to get? What do you mean, who are we going to get, man? What do you think if Slot leaves Liverpool? You go, well, that's it. It was a pleasure. Let's shut down the club. We can move forward. He's gone. Like, come on, man. There's loads of managers out there. If you're serious, go and get Luis Enrique. If you're serious, go and get Hansi Flick. Like, you're Liverpool. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like with Arsenal. Well, we can't get. Yeah, we pay 15 million for Mikel Arteta. 15 million. That means we can't afford only 2 managers out of all the hundreds of thousands that are out there, and those 2 are Pep and Simeone because they earn more than him. So go and give 15 million to Luis Enrique if Arteta can't do the job. That's what I've always said. Now, hopefully, he can do the job this season. It's looking good for us, right? And the same with Liverpool, man. You're a massive club. You can't sit there and go, well, we won it last year. You've got to give him time. And then you end up like United in 15th or something. Like, come on, man. It's scary what Liverpool are doing right now. So, yeah, you have to pull the plug, man. And it ain't the board have done their job in the summer, in my opinion. But if the board let this carry on, they will be to blame because you can't leave this can't happen, man. Like Tom says, he's worried about Fulcrum. Look what you've done to your fans. Like, do you know what I mean? This is the madness of it. So that's all right. But boys, pleasure.
Nasty week. I would enjoy your weekend with that. Blessings, bro. Take care.
Blessings. Big up Pots, man. Every time.
Big up,
Shouts to Pots.
And the one, before we do move over to United, the one thing where I will give a little bit of props to the board then is after the first 5 games, again, Liverpool fans were still giddy because we was winning and the results were coming in. There was talk that he was going to get that first extension on his contract. And then obviously we had a downturn in form pretty quickly after that. And they kind of put the plug on those conversations at least. So they're not wasting any more money on a manager that's failing us at this moment in time. That might be the only saving grace from me. Because, right now, I kind of like Potts think something drastic needs to change. Teza, where are you on it before we do touch on United? Do you think Liverpool's board do need to axe him, or would you see it out a little bit longer?
I would. It's such a difficult period because
if this was Man United, what would you do?
well,
Stick with him. He's got Amorim, man. He can't tell he's going to fire him when he's riding out for Amorim.
It's different because obviously Liverpool have spent the money they spent.
Manchester United have still spent money over the last couple of years.
I'm saying it from the perspective of, because you're saying if it was United, I would look at it as the manager's won the league and he spent all this money and he hasn't been able to play with those players yet to see. Do you know what I mean? There hasn't been a point in time where you've had Isak, Ekitike, Vert, Frimpong, who else did you sign? Whoever else you signed, all fit at the same time.
There was a brief period where he didn't do it.
Well, that's the thing, because none of them were really.
Tom's had enough.
I know. I mean,
you're not selling this to Tommy. It says I'm not going to lie.
He had a 4-game stretch where he could do it. The funny thing is, he had a 4-game stretch where all of them were fit, and do you want to know what he did in that period? Went back to the old setup from last year and played as many players from last season as he could do.
Yeah, I think Liverpool stick with him for now. I think what will tell the tale is if. How many more Champions League games have you got? How many's been played?
2 away and 1 at home.
Too many.
We've got AC Milan next week, and then we've got Marseille
away, isn't it?
And then we've got Karabag. And I've got Karabag FC at home. Last watch along with the fucking Champions League groups. If we don't get through there, my head will just explode.
So that I think it's a case of if you guys are still languishing mid-table and you're going out the Champions League, it's done. I think they'll keep it for that because obviously they know as well, even if they bring in someone new, they're going to have the whole issue of then Salah's going to go to AFCON, then they're going to have to bed in new players who have been injured. And I think Liverpool board will probably allow Slot to see that period through to continue. But I think he has to qualify for the Champions League. And I think form's a funny one because I think you're just losing too much and it's the money you're losing. So if you win a game, lose a game, draw a game, win a game, and it balances out a bit, I think you'll buy himself a bit of time because of what he's done last season. But it's the fact that you're just playing and losing, and you're conceding 3 or 4 in the last couple of games. If that happens 2 more times, I think maybe then, they might say it's too much. But I think they'll keep hold of him for the next at least 3 games.
Flawless. Do you want to throw your prediction in the mix?
What was the question?
Do Liverpool's board ask the manager? Is it time to go?
Oh, it's definitely time to go. Like, what are we talking about here? No questions asked. You
Right,
lost 9. You lost
Well, I'm
9
going to ask
and
you
12. You lost 9
Alright.
and 12. Like, what are we doing out here? Like, there's it, and it's the manner, like Teza just meant the manner in which it's not like unlucky defeats, it's deserved defeats. You can't even argue and say, oh yeah, Liverpool were the better side. No, it's a wrap. From when you lost to us, it should have been over.
That's true.
I said that. I said, hey, their issues are bigger than I thought if they lose to us. And we
I
went
said that
there and
about
won.
midfield. Yeah, I said that was the one thing I said. I'll be worried about because the performance haven't been great, but that midfield, if we can't win a midfield battle against Manchester United's midfield, that's when I'm going to start to have warning and alarm bells going off because that shouldn't happen in this league right now.
Once you start breaking all types of records and it's this since the 1950s, this since the 1960s, this since the like when that happens, the worst run in 123 years, it's over.
Yeah.
We've hit Ten Hag's second season syndrome where every week he's saying Arnie Slot has broken a record. He's now lost to this team who've never done this before, and he's sitting there going, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" It's got that bad with him. I've got my shortlist drawn up to replace him. I know exactly how you replace him.
But you wanted to before he came in. You wanted Amorim, so we can't.
Amorim beat him. And Amorim beat him.
No, we're not doing that now. Right, let me ask this question. We've got a question in the chat. Did Klopp's team play on muscle memory to win the league, or did Slot win the league? We were second half FC last season a lot of times after the changes by the manager, which is true. But I don't think our second half of the season was particularly good anyway.
I can't be disingenuous. If you win the league,
the manager changed things to win the league last year. I've got no problem with what he done last year.
Yeah, it's what he's doing now. It's what he's doing now that's the problem for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was the difference
100%.
maker last season because Klopp had the same team and couldn't do it. He comes in, he does change some things. We do it. Second half of the season wasn't as good because he was trying to implement more of his system. But we were all at fucking rose tinted glasses going, don't matter if we won the fucking league. Look at
And
it.
I think that was dangerous. But again, that's revisionism itself. But I didn't think at the time.
In the moment, I didn't care about it. But
Yeah,
now I'm
you
sitting
didn't
there
care.
going, probably should have cared
Why?
about it then.
Yeah, why should I get so giddy?
It's like,
feel a bit foolish.
I get what Tess is saying about the options.
We're sitting here with tiny violins feeling sorry for ourselves. So there are two Man United fans sat with us that they're in the mud as well. We're all mud brothers in this situation right now.
Oh yeah, we live around here. We can show you around, man.
Yeah,
We can show you around, man. Like we take this as regular.
They're above us, though. They're above us. They're like they're slightly above. They're in really good standing compared to us, compared to expectations. They were like sixth.
Well, before we wrap, I want to know what more can Ineos be doing at this point, because this is the final board that we've got to look at. You've got to look at Sir Jim at this moment in time. How many years has he had the club now? Is it 2 full years at least? Maybe a little bit more?
No, only coming in.
I think it's less than a year and a half, Tezo. Something
Yeah,
like
18 months?
it was because it was Ten Hag's. It was like November of Ten Hag's season, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, before then, because he was when Ten Hag won the.
Won the FA Cup. Yeah, he was there. Yeah.
But the rest of the board wasn't there, so that was 24.
Let me just check.
So we took over in late 23, beginning of 24, February 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, because I remember they took over in the 23 late, and then he didn't officially take over. There was like a 5-month period.
So is that 80? Is that 2 years then? He's been there for
It'll be 2 years in 2026 February.
2 years in 26. Okay, so been there for a while. Things have. It looked at one point like there was a better recruitment strategy going on, getting more players in this summer. They look better. I think even the players that you signed last summer were a little bit better, that have started to show the levels again from an United's perspective. But they've stuck by a manager once again that has underperformed. He's lasted a year into his job. Lads, what more do Ineos have to do? Because all of a sudden, is there any much of a difference between them and the Glazers, or are they just one of the same?
In terms of them and the Glazers, I think they are very different. I think what they have done is they've actively tried to assemble players that suit playing in the Premier League. So regardless of whether you think Ten Hag or Amorim, I think the first season, which was the summer, just when Ten Hag last season, basically, the summer of last season. So when we signed Errol, Ugarte, Xerxes, etc. I think the club did not have enough money to try and go and sign the players that they wanted. So a lot of those deals were market opportunities. And then after that, Amorim came in and all the cuts were made by, getting rid of extra staff and chopping down wages, getting rid of Rashford, or Sancho, all these players to trim things down. They were able to go bigger in this summer, and they were able to sign players that I think are a little bit more suited to the Premier League. Obviously, Cunha and Buemo have been playing in the Premier League. They've used data and stats to bring in Lamens and also to bring in Tesco, who they've been following for best part of 5 years as well. I think the model of that, and Dorgu obviously as well in January, I think the model of that makes sense. The biggest issue is that the club still isn't at the point to where they're able to bring in the player of the required quality level, because they don't have the money, and also because
no Champions League footy.
Yeah, there's no Champions League to offer certain players, so certain players will go, yeah, I can see why I'll go there, I'm going to go there, but there's still a group of players that United can't really target, so we are effectively shopping with one hand behind our back. In terms of how that aligns with the managers, I don't think every signing has been a success. I think some of them they made just because they needed a body, and that was the player who they could get, i.e. Xerxes, i.e. Ugarte. I don't. The other ones, I could say the jury's out. You're still young. I think Mbuemo's been a good signing. Dorgu, sometimes not. It just depends on what day of the week it is with him. And a lot of them have upsides because what they haven't done is giving them massive wages. So a lot of these players, I think, and Bremo's out of all those players is the top earner. Everyone's on kind of less than 150k. So even if they were to be moved on, they're still within a reasonable wage bracket. Where they've fallen down is kept Amorim for this long. And I think they've done that because they were at odds with Ashworth. Obviously, they brought Ashworth in. Ashworth had a completely different idea of what managers that he wanted to bring in. They brought in Berta and Wilcox, and Berta and Wilcox were like, we want Amorim. Ashworth didn't want that. Got rid of Ashworth, went with the Amorim route. And now they're so stubborn that they're sticking with the Amorim thing because they know if they turn their back on Amorim, it goes down with a mistake that they've made rather than Sir Jim keeping Ten Hag just because fans wrote to the club and it was an emotional reaction. And also, Sir Jim said he didn't want to make that decision because he didn't have Berta and Wilcox in yet. So there was like a domino effect. And now because Amorim's still here, they're like, Amorim's the guy when he's clearly not. And then Flores.
But you know what the craziest part is about the Ten Hag situation? They agreed to get rid of him. There was an agreement to get rid of him. And then because their attempt at replacing him was so piss poor, they went back to it. Because remember, we had the interview with Tuchel. De Zerbi said he was offered a contract. So they had two options after it. Which why, in regards to your question, Tezza, you done my bad. I didn't want to interrupt.
No, carry on. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In regards to when you said, what can Ineos do? Leave. Didn't want him in the first place. They stink. Let's just be honest about it. They're all for ownership. Granted, that doesn't mean they haven't done good things. When you look at the off-the-field stuff, fantastic. When I look at what they've done in regards to the facilities, A1. When it comes down to cutting the staff down, which people criticize them for, we had way too many staff. They've done well. When it comes down to recruitment, I actually think they have recruited well. I look at the incomings of most and I look at the outgoings of most. I think our outgoings are very, very good. I think both these past 2 summers is the most money we've ever made. And everyone is quick to tell Manchester United fans how bad our team is. So if you're getting money for these players, you're doing something right. And people will point to McTominay because it's lazy and go, oh, look, players do very well when they leave here. No one ain't talking about other players that left. No one ain't talking about Højlund no more in Italy. No one ain't talking about what Onana's doing in Turkey,
Antony,
for example.
them, man. Yeah.
No one's talking about Antony at Real Betis. I ain't heard that in a minute. I ain't seen none of this. People don't watch Rashford, even though Rashford's done well at Barcelona. When he's had bad, because I watch Barcelona, I actually enjoyed him watching him as a team. There's times he's had bad games. And I go on socials and people will talk about it like El Clasico. He was awful. But because he got an assist, people will go, oh, look at him getting an assist. No, he was terrible. It's just that he's not numero uno on the list for Barcelona. When Barcelona play, it's what did Yamal do? What did Lewandowski do? What did Pedri do? What did De Jong do? He's low down on the list in regards to top players.
Expectations.
The expectations. When I look at the incomings outside of really like Agate, he's the only one because I look at it and go, are you value for money? Are you worth your price tag or more? To me, Dorgu, is he limited? I agree with Tezza, yeah. He's 25 million. And it shows while he's 25 million. Not only have we misprofiled him because he's not a wing back, but he looks like a 25 million pound player. I can't get mad when a 25 million pound player looks 25 million pounds. Granted, we want it to be like Maserati where he was 12 million and he looks 30 million. You want to get more money, but my mum says this to me all the time. Hey, you buy cheap, you buy twice. And that's just what it is in regards to football. But credit to them, they've got it right. I look at Euro, I look at De Ligt, in particular, and Bremo and Cunha, yeah. Sesko's the only one I think money-wise was too much because he's limited.
I think the striker market was inflated this summer because of...
It's inflated, but you can do better. Yeah. But my problem was with Sesko wasn't signing him. It was the money that he cost more than Bremo and Cunha. That's off. How you cost more than those two and haven't done what those two have done? But I'll forgive them for that because they've had more hits than misses. But then where the issue lies and everything falls down is you're doing all this good work off the field. You're doing all this good work in return to transfer activity. And we are going backwards rapidly as a club on the football pitch. We fall down a never-ending flight of stairs and continue to do so under these men on the pitch. As bad as we were last year, I think we're worse this year. It's just that we have better individual players on the pitch. Because I look at the state of the league and I go, right, if we would have beat Everton, we would have been 5th. So imagine we would have beat Everton, and let's say for argument's sake, go away to Fulham and win, and we got 5 more points. Where are we in the table? And this is where my issue lies, is because whoever is in charge of the managerial side of things at Manchester United ownership needs to be fired instantly. Because to get these things horribly wrong is good. They got Ten Hag horribly wrong. The fact that Jim Ratcliffe needed someone, or whatever the case may be, all of the stats and all of the eye tests tell you that Ten Hag was a terrible manager. All of the stats, all of the eye tests tell you that Amorim's a horrible manager. Yes, granted, the team isn't the best. But I say this all the time, get the most out of what you have. So if you think Manchester United are the 7th best side in the league, be in 7th. And then I go, all right, that's fair. Or if you think they're 6th or 3rd or wherever, no one can't tell me this team is 10th. Because that wasn't expectation. No one can't tell me that team last season was 15th. As bad as it was, it weren't the 15th best team in the league. That falls on the... He's won 12 games in 12 months. He has a 30% win rate. Those 2 stats alone, where else could you be at an elite level anywhere and have a 30% success rate and keep your job? So that means out of every 10 tasks you get, you complete 3. So tell me.
Don't do it. Yeah, that's cold.
Tell me.
Yeah, it's true.
Where else could that happen? In our households growing up, us four, I don't know you man like that. None of us, our mum gives us 10 tasks to complete and we complete 3. What is our mum gonna say to us?
She ain't gonna say
Failed,
too
man.
much, bro. Yeah.
Didn't do your
What
job.
didn't do your job. She gonna curse you out, but all of a sudden it's good enough for Ruben Amorim at Manchester United Football Club. And people wonder why I criticize the manager. Why I criticize, because the ownership will watch this. And bear in mind, them 12 wins, we only just won 3 games last month. So it was worse. We've only just turned that around, by the way. Them 3 games when we beat you lot. Yeah, and that's the first time we've had a good month. So in regards to it, yeah, Ineos horrible. Amorim, and again, the managerial side of things, I always look at and I go, what are the positives in regards to this manager? Do we need to improve as a team? Yes. But we were just talking about Arsenal, who are currently top of the league. People are talking about them potentially winning the Champions League, them needing to improve. There's always improvements. Get the most out of what you have. That's all I ask for.
I think my
Get
thing
the most.
as well to add, sorry, to
Yeah,
add
it's
to
cool,
that
man.
is the fact that the people who are making the decisions in the board are coming up with small wins that don't really equate to anything. So like this week I've seen, underlying numbers are showing progression. You know, Man United are better XG, more chances created, more shots on target. And I'm like, that's all well and good, but context, because the league quality isn't the same as how it has been previously. And also, Man United are doing that because we're playing once a week, so that players are fresher. You've got slightly better quality, but at the same time, there's opportunity where it's hard to say if you had a different manager, you'd be better, because you don't know until you know. But from the just understanding of how the players that we have currently, as Flawless was saying, is this manager platforming them in the right way? We saw against Everton that we're against 10 men, 20 minutes from when Everton scored. I just like, this game's not the way United were playing there, and knowing the manager, I was like, this game is not going to change. I just knew it, and the manager's done that before, and I don't know how the ownership are looking at that and thinking, maybe if we just get him better players. It's not the players, it's what the manager wants to do with the players, and also the type of players that we need to get for this manager have to be quite specific. And I think those are red flags in itself. I think a good coach and a good manager kind of looks at the sum of his parts and goes, how can I get the best out of it? Not, this is what I want to do. You guys have to fit into it. Because it's much easier for me, I think, as a coach, to change your process to 22 people than 22 people adapt to you, especially when they're adapting to you to fit into things that they haven't done before. Bruno playing DM, Ahmad playing right back, right wing back. You know, we're playing 5 defenders against 10 men. It happened in the Everton final. The Everton performance was almost a carbon copy of the Europa League final. The same.
Jay,
No,
which goes to show, Tez, he's not learning.
he's not.
You're not
And
getting new information. You're not getting your ass kicked and then going, all right, let me change that. You know, like
Let me
when you watch
coach the
films
rest
at the
along the
start.
way.
Like,
Yeah.
like when you have like the old school like action films. What happens at the start of them karate films? The main guy gets his ass kicked at the start of the film, and then he goes away, trains for the entire film, and then comes back and kicks the ass of the guy who kicked his ass at the start. He don't take on information. I ain't the brightest, and I can see this. That's what annoys me. when it gets to the point where I think I can do a better job than you, that's a problem. Because I'm far from qualified, and I can do just as bad as you.
I'm at that point with Arnie Slot. Are we like together on this? Do we both think we can do better jobs than our managers?
No, not even better. The same, and that's a problem because I'm not qualified, Tom. I am nowhere near qualified, have the experience, and I could go there and win 12 games in 12 months. I could do that.
Oh, I could win more than that.
I could win. I'm not giving myself credit. I'm just saying I could do equal. I could win 30%. 100%.
Yeah, no, I hear it.
I could win 30% of his games. I think I could do that. I think I could just tell, hey, play a back five and play a defensive formation with 5 defenders, but still not be defensively solid. Make that make sense? How we concede so many goals? How can we? I don't understand that. How the Bournemouth and Sunderland and Brighton
your manager has done unimaginable damage to my reputation. Unimaginable.
Yeah. But yeah,
for the past 2.5 years, I've not been able to enjoy anything because even when he went to his, I was still brandished with that fucking tag. So when you were losing, I couldn't even celebrate it because you wanted him. Look at
it's ridiculous.
And to add and revert it back to the board, one thing why actually now Flawless saying like some of the board people need to be sacked. They probably do because
pick up Mav. You definitely could. He's got you.
Amorim was hired on the basis of him presenting his idea of how he would want United to play, and typically, I don't know how it is in other clubs, but typically at United, the way the first team plays, it's replicated in the others. And it's very, very telling that our academy under 21s and 18s don't play with wing backs. They don't. And Darren Fletcher,
the academy coach took one look at it and went, we're not fucking doing that.
Yeah. You lied to me, man.
And
see, this is a piss take. No way we don't. No way our youth players don't play the same. When I play Football Manager, my youth teams play the same formation I play.
Michael Pater, because I change system every year, so youth players never fucking develop.
My point to say that is that the pathway, typically what United will do is we'll have a pathway stream where you have your Carrington, you have your talented under 21s and the 18s who would see themselves in the first team so they know, like a Mano or Garnacho will go, okay, if I break in, I know I'll be able to do that. Amorim being there and the board still keeping Amorim have also blocked that because now instead of blooding in all these young quality players, because there's a lot of good quality players, there's only 1 or 2 because it needs to be, can you play as a wing back but a wing at the same time? Can you play as a 10 but a central midfielder at the same time? And that comes from the board's direction because that is a sporting strategy. So if you're going to buy into Amorim and what he wants to do, you're also then telling the rest of the club that this is what we want to do, and it's not working. And I think it's very telling that Fletcher under 18 had been playing 4-2-3 on a 4-3-3 and doing all the things like inverting a fullback and just none of the first team stuff, and he wins every game under the top. And then when it comes to the first team level, it's how do we play Ahmad at the same time as playing Mazwari and Dorgu and Shaw, and it just doesn't make sense. And the board are culpable because, as I was saying before, Amorim would have presented, and I think I read he presented a platform of what he wants to do with the club, how he wants the team to play. So that means people from the United board have gone and looked at this and gone, yeah, that makes sense, and that aligns with what Man United are doing or want to do in the future. That's the bit what's just baffled me.
You could do that though in theory, though, couldn't you, Tess? You could sit there and write out, this is exactly how I want us to play, and it'll do this. But in reality, it doesn't do that because the opposite. This is the wonderful thing about football, and I think it's bit United more than most others in the last how many years. It's like at times people at United think there's only one team that plays football, and it's Manchester United, and they don't realise that opposition teams will sit there and go, "Okay, we'll counter that," and then what do? And then United are shit out of luck because they've got no other. There's no plan B. They've got an idea of how they want to do it because it was like. The thing I always hold against United, I know it's a little bit off topic, but when you've got Ronaldo for Ollie, I felt that went massively against what he was doing.
It was,
and I think that was like net. Because I thought Ollie was actually quite good.
It was opportunism that you got to say it, because he was almost.
You know what it was?
In cahoots to go to City.
Exactly that. So they thought we can't have our legend go to City.
Go there, and it was ego. It was ego over sports strategy at that point. You know what I mean? And like, look. The reason I asked about the board today is because obviously it's been a mad 12 months, but I just feel like no matter where we have these conversations, Manchester United always seem to be in the same position, but they seem like the team that are just stuck in the mud. And I take Tom's point there about they only think that they're the only team, but I think all big clubs are susceptible of that to an extent. But
Arsenal
I think they try.
Arsenal
Maybe they're moving up. Maybe they moved away from that
Yeah,
model.
I think Arsenal on, because Arsenal look at the trends of what's going to happen, and they recruit for that. Whereas United are trying to do the thing of, because we made that mistake, we can't make that mistake again. So let's do this thing. And even
but in reality, that mistake wouldn't now be a mistake. It'd actually be a quite good move because you're then addressing that problem. A lot of big teams do look at that, but the best teams don't. So Arsenal right now, the reason why I think they've took that step this year is they've got a solution for every problem.
Yeah, exactly.
If a team goes long against them, because they used to have a problem where if a team would go long against them, Saliba would struggle in the air sometimes. And if Gabriel couldn't switch on to the striker would get knockdowns and they'd lose second balls. So they go and get Zubomendi, who is good at winning second balls, and they had a Mosquera, who's incredible in the air, which is something I didn't really expect from him, but they identified it. So now if they go up against a tall striker, they might start Saliba, but half time he's gone, Mosquera's on, they win the header, they win the second balls, they can now pin teams in. We're suffering that this season. We went to the extreme with it, where we think we're the only team and we play the correct football, and every team should play our football. But in reality, we just get battered by teams that don't play that football. But United, for the past how many years, operate on the basis that they are the only team that matters. So they will set up a style of play, and they will go, this is how we're going to play. It's going to be, he's going to go there, he's going to go there, he's going to go there, he's going to go there. And then you're going to have all these options there that are going to score goals without factoring in what the opposition are going to do when you move these players into these positions. So then when in an actual game situation, a team might go, okay, you're trying to get a wing back high involved, we'll go to a 5-3-2 then. And United are out of luck because they're not prepared for what happens if a team matches them man for man. And it's down to individuals.
And that's what's happening this weekend, probably.
Or it's a case of a team goes, okay, we'll go 5-4-1 and we'll compact it. And then United go, well, what do we do? That we didn't plan for this. United expect to go into every game and the team wilts because they're Manchester United.
Yeah. But Liverpool are guilty of that as well. Liverpool players are guilty of that for different reasons as well.
United, when a team has went and played at Manchester United under Mourinho, less so under Ollie, because Ollie's team's forced a little bit, but under Mourinho, under Ten Hag, and under Amorim, when a team goes to United and plays against United and plays with their football and their beliefs and their ideals, United panic and worry and shit the bed and then lose because they're not prepared for this. They are prepared that we are Manchester United. We're the best team in every game. We'll go there. The only time they don't do it is when it's a derby. When it's City or Liverpool, they won't do it. They'll go a little bit more cautious. And Arsenal nowadays. Outside of that, they'll go, we're the big Manchester United. We're the big I am. We're going to go there. We're going to impose our will on them. We're going to impose our style of play on them. They go there. A team matches them. A team goes at them and they go, oh, fuck, what do we do now? Oh, no. And then they lose. Brighton, there's a reason they've got a crap record against Brighton. There's a reason they've got a crap record against Bournemouth in recent years. Which other mid-table teams that play their stat? Crystal Palace, you probably don't have a great record against Crystal Palace.
We have a crap record against everybody pretty much.
Yeah.
Outside of Villa, that's it.
Those mid-table teams that want to sit there and just play their way, where against an Arsenal, they get killed for it. Against a City, they get killed for it. Against a Liverpool before this season, they get killed for it. When they go to United and do it,
go on, Tessa. Go on, what are you going to say?
I was going to say, to add to that, I think that has been an issue previous years, more so Ten Hag's second season and Amorim first season, last season, because he just came in and thought, I'll just implement my style and not be able to adapt it and we'll just suffer. But I think the biggest issue...
He loves that word, doesn't he? Suffer. We're going to suffer.
I think maybe Flores will agree or disagree, but I think the biggest issue with what we're seeing as United fans now is it's almost the opposite of that. It's the fact that we don't actually go into every game thinking that we're going to impose ourselves. It's the fact that we can only win a game if we have 50% possession or less. And it's also the fact that if a team doesn't give us a little bit of space for us to then transition and get our wing backs in 1v1, we win because a team can press us really high or they sit off, and then we can't compete in those. And the manager is limited, and I don't know what the board see in terms of how they think that just because you get slightly better players, the manager's idea improves. It does a little bit because obviously players make tactics, but if you now, so for example, United fans, and we've been linked to Elliot Anderson, or we were linked to Baleba, and I remember when we were linked to Baleba, and I just tweeted and I was like, you do realise Baleba's going to look horrible playing for this United and this Amorim, because
You look like
if
he's
you
Basuma for Tottenham.
Pardon?
You look like Basuma for Tottenham.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
looks
Only
like
red
how he
there,
looks
he-
at Brighton. He looks
Yeah,
like how
sure.
he looks at Brighton now.
Exactly,
look like.
because you're going to take Casemiro out and you're going to put Baleba in, and then he's going to be playing in midfield on his own. It's not the individual player, it's the manager's tactic and instruction to that player. And then when that player is now going to then eventually go through a dip of form, and they're young and the pressure's on and the fans are going to start looking at him differently, the confidence drops and you have the same cycle. It's the board and the people in charge who don't oversee these certain things, and I think they're allowing it to happen. Realistically, we should be this season. I said it at the beginning of the season. Amorim needs to get Champions League. This is the best chance he's ever going to have. And if he doesn't get Champions, even if he gets sixth, I think he should still be sacked. I think he should be sacked anyway. But
Well, this is the way I was going to ask. The final question of the show tonight, ladies and gents, is who goes first? Slot or Amorim? Cast your votes now, man. Then, and I just wanted to say as well, this is the last Cartel Show of 2025. It's been a good couple of months. It's been mad. The end. I feel like I'm living in the upside down right now, but I couldn't do it without the lads like Flawless, Tezza, Tom, Connor, Potts, Drifty, Hooks, D. All the man them that have jumped on over the last couple of months and supported what we've been trying to do and what we're building. I really do appreciate it all. I just want to thank you all for turning up. Obviously, Greg as well. Man like Greg, I couldn't forget Greg in the cut. Alan and Shane. So yeah, big thank you from everybody. Big thank you from me. But lads,
blessings for having us on before you carry on.
Yeah,
Blessings for
thank you,
having
man.
us on. I appreciate it, man, for giving us the platform. And secondly, what are we getting renewed 2026? Or we been cancelled?
No, I mean,
transfer window.
I just want December off. I've done every Friday night. Do you get me? So I've done every Friday night. So I feel like I deserve to have the Christmas period.
Nah, you do definitely. You work tremendously hard. I was just making sure that it wasn't.
I can't wait until we lose the next 2 games and Errol messages me on Thursday going, "Emergency Cartel, we need to talk."
That could also happen as well. Yeah, that could also happen.
Hey, if you lot lose, don't worry, man. I got a spot for you lot, man, for the emergencies, man. Come over to Sarcasm City TV.
You know all about emergency meetings, man.
Yeah, I know all about them. It's just meetings now. It's not emergencies. It's just regular stuff. Hey, I got you, man.
Put in the calendar already.
Let people know. Let people know where they can watch your content and give me an answer. Is it Slot or Amorim on the first one on the chopping block?
Let me actually pull up your fixtures.
That's on literally. I've just looked at United's fixtures. So
we got West Ham away, Sunderland at home.
Oh yeah, we getting packed up before the end till the end of the year. Outside of Wolves, I don't think we win another game.
So this is my thing though, because if United, if you're saying in the next 5 games, if in the next 5 games we're only going to win 1, and then we go into AFCON, and then Mbeumo and Ahmad and Mazraoui leave as well, we may as well just get rid of the manager. Tell him go Morocco with them. There's no point.
Leave him in Morocco. I'm with you on that. Leave him in Morocco. Yeah,
because without them in Morocco, and you're telling me 1 win.
I'm saying max 2. Have you seen our next 7 games?
Yeah, I am.
Look at our games to the rest of the year.
Palace away, West Ham at home, Wolves away, Bournemouth at home, Villa away, Newcastle at home,
Wolves away.
So is it Amorim or is it Slot? That's what I need to know.
I'm trying to figure it out. You know, this is talk about a race to the bottom of the
barrel. Oh, we are scraping the barrel here. Tom,
you know what? I'll go Slot. I think Slot.
Okay, yeah, I think Slot as well, I think Ineos have this sickness and they want to keep him for as long as possible.
No, I just think that with these lot being in Champions League, that's why. I think they'll lose them 2 away games, and I think they'll go right. Enough's enough.
And I think that is a very real possibility.
You shouldn't make it to the second away game if you're not.
I already know Tom's answer. Flawless. Let people know where they can catch your content, brother.
Hey, Sarcasm City TV, man, on YouTube, people. Sarcasm City TV, Sarcasm City TV Extra as well. Both YouTube channels. Go run up the like, subscribe, watch all the content. United stuff. Not just Manchester United, though. Rest of the big six. So Arsenal, Liverpool,
basketball.
Chelsea, City. Cover NBA as well. Boxing. So yeah, get over there, people.
I've been loving the NBA now. I'm not trying to worry about Liverpool. It's fucking great.
Hey, why do you
isn't
think I've been doing NBA content for the past 3 years?
Fucking brilliant. I got Lakers Mavs tonight to watch. I can't wait for that.
Oh yeah, watch along for that on the extra channel, people. Thank you. I
There we
forgot.
go.
Lakers Mavs
There we
tonight.
go. There we go.
Yeah, same
Teza,
man. I've been watching a lot of MMA recently because United make me sick, so I've been tuning in. Big up Luke Riley who won.
Scouts
Representing,
representing it. 100%.
Yeah, Teskey for everything. But I'll have a couple articles dropping. I've got another one that's ready in the next couple of days, and then I am actually going to do AFCON content. So I want to try and do that every day, starting from the first game on the 18th, I think. So I want to try and do reaction. My country, Zambia's in it. We're not going to do anything, but it'll be fun. So
you got to represent, though. Come on.
Yeah, I'm going to support whoever wins. Because I know we'll get maybe past the group stage, and then that's it. But yeah.
Fair play. Tom, let people know where they can catch any of you on your socials or anything that you're putting out at the minute.
You can catch Tom Little with the one on Twitter. That's probably your best bet.
Yeah.
YouTube would require me to actually want to talk about Liverpool for extended periods of time, and I don't want to talk about this version of Liverpool for extended periods of time. So you're not getting anything on that platform for the time being. So Twitter will probably be your best bet.
Okay.
I need to get you one actually, Tom. It's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? We ain't spoke. I'm not had you on my channel in a minute.
Yeah.
It's been a while, hasn't it? Surprisingly, when we up, you know what? I was so desperate when you were winning 3 out of 12. Yeah. When you were winning 3 out of 12, I couldn't wait to talk to you. When it's me, I don't want to talk to anyone. You know, it's actually shit. I don't want to enjoy winning only 3 out of 12 games.
No, it's hard. It is very hard at the minute. But ladies and gents, thank you again. Thank you for tuning in. This has been the Red Cartel. We'll be back in the new year, man, them, of course. And make sure you go follow, like, and subscribe to all of these lads' comments and content online. And finally, have a good festive period, people. Enjoy, be safe, and we'll see you in 2026. Big up.
Blessings.